Great to hear live music again. Hi there, I'm Eddie Matthews from the Stratford and District Chamber of Commerce, and the Stratford Symphony Orchestra is welcoming music lovers again and joining forces with a terrific band, the Bookends. And pleased to speak with Pete Watson of the Bookends to promote this upcoming project, this upcoming event. Pete, good to see you and looking forward to hearing you and the orchestra soon. Tell us what's going on.
Excellent. Thanks, Eddie, and thanks for the introduction. And you know what? And I will start with what you just said, is we couldn't be happier about the fact that live music is coming back and that we're seeing audiences, and we've got our beautiful festival opening here, well, last night and over the weekend. And so it's like we're getting that little bit of normalcy back after what we've been through. And so we've been really excited about what we have coming up on June 11th. So that's next Saturday night. Is that we're working with the Stratford Symphony Orchestra after, I guess we kind of got to know them a little bit about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when they asked us to come out and be a part of their virtual Cows and Classics. And so typically they do a fundraiser concert every year, just out in the countryside, beautiful event, but of course, COVID. And so we did it online with them last year and had a blast. And they said, you know, we got to get you guys back and let's actually do something with the full orchestra. And we're like, okay, a little intimidating, us and 50 plus other musicians. It's certainly not something that we've ever done, but you know, I think we're rising to the challenge, and we've had an amazing time getting ready to be set up for this. And so we have worked with, some people might know actually, an amazing cellist and composer arranger by the name of Ben Bolt Martin. Now, Ben Bolt Martin is part of Inner Chamber and many other orchestras and other things, even part of the festival. Incredible guy. And he took three of our tunes, a couple that were original, one by Errol and one by Kate in the band, and one that's a couple of trad tunes. And he used his incredible talents to be able to arrange them for a 50-piece orchestra. And so we get to do what we're used to doing, which is jamming out fun, you know, Irish and Celtic music. But we get this lush arrangements to get to come to, you know, get sort of envelop it. And so, so that's what we're going to be doing next on Saturday night on June 11th. And we also have with us, and we're really pleased to say this, is our friend and very special guest, a guy by the name of Romano Danilo. And Romano, some people might know, has been the boron player, which is a type of Irish drum. So he's an amazing percussionist. And Romano has been on Broadway for the last 4+ years as the percussionist for Come From Away, which is about when all the planes landed in Gander, Newfoundland at 9/11. And he's a big star in that show. And it's a big hit TV show on Apple TV. It's excellent. If you haven't watched it, it's really enjoyable. We've watched it a few times. My kids love it. And it's really our honor to be able to have Romano come and join us at the front for this as well. And so we've got Romano Danilo playing the boron, and we've got the Stratford Symphony adding their lush arrangements. They're also going to play some pieces of their own. They've given us a piece of Celtic music that we've been working on. There's a piece that was originally arranged and organized by a guy named by the Buddy McMaster, very famous East Coast musician. And it's been arranged again for orchestra by a guy named Scott McMillan. And so we have that piece of music to look forward to as well. And so it's going to be a great night. We're going to play some tunes on our own. The orchestra is going to play some tunes on their own. We're going to play a bunch of tunes together. And the final little element is we've got a gentleman by the name of Jeff Wolpert, who is a 3-time Juno Award-winning recording engineer and producer. He's worked on a bunch of big records, worked with local hero Lorena McKinnon. We're going to have him down, and he's going to record our whole show on Saturday too. So anybody who's there gets to be a part of the recording, and we're hoping to be able to record that, release that next year sometime. So it's a lot going on, a lot of information, but this is a really exciting event, and it's a one-off and it's a one of a kind, and we'd really love to see lots of people out for it.
I need to ask you what it's like working with an orchestra, because I could see you guys ad-libbing, if I can use that. And let's face it, with an orchestra, it's a bit more structured. You've got a conductor. What is it like performing and then even practicing with the orchestra?
Yeah, well, I mean, we get to find out. We've been rehearsing against MIDI recordings, so we basically have like a orchestra in a box, and so we've been working against that. Plus, we have the music, and so in the same way that orchestra musicians can sit down in front of a piece of music and basically read it like a book, you know, we've had to bone up a little bit and do that as well. But of course, we already know our tunes, but with Ben's arrangements, and so it changes the way that it works. You know, you get these big orchestra swells, and you get all this feeling, and I think it's going to be incredible. There are very few Celtic bands that have had the great fortune to be able to do this, but one of our absolute favorite bands is a band by the name of Lunasa, and they have a beautiful recording with the RT band in Ireland, or our orchestra in Ireland. So RT is like, think of it like CBC of Ireland. And so the CBC Orchestra recorded with this band Lunasa, and it's a brilliant recording, and it's something we've always admired. And so when we thought we had this opportunity to do something with incredible talent in the Stratford Symphony Orchestra, we thought, let's do this and let's try and capture it. And so our hope is that we'll end up with something that sounds just great, and that we'll be able to put out on streaming services and so forth next year.
Don't show up at the door, get tickets in advance, because this will sell out. I assume it's back at Avondale, and how do we get tickets for it?
That's right. Yeah. So if you go to stratfordsymphony.ca, all the information's right there on their homepage. Obviously, there are lots of stuff out there in social media, and thank you, of course, for doing this so that we can get the word out. It's hard, actually. The one thing I will say is we've kind of gone from famine to feast. We've basically gone from there was nothing and people were desperate to go and do stuff, and now there's a lot of stuff going on. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of competition, but that's good, right? I mean, everybody's back. Musicians are getting paid to do what they do, and people are being able to be there and enjoy it, and enjoy great live music. So that's what we're doing.
I'll be bringing your name up this summer. We're going to be heading back to Newfoundland, and we're going to PEI as well. So when you go out there, you can't help but fall in love with the music out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, we love going to Ireland. We've been to Ireland, as a band. And in fact, we were supposed to be back during COVID, but of course that didn't happen. And our foreign player Romano is from Newfoundland, and so he brings a lot of that East Coast joy to it as well.
Well, how busy is your summer looking so far, aside from this?
So our summer's looking very busy in a really good way. I mean, we've got other stuff coming up, some other live performances, things that they're just not quite announced yet, but they're coming up. So watch for that. Definitely some stuff locally. Well, actually, I mean, I think there is one that, we're doing a small set during Canada Day downtown. I think that's been announced. And so, I mean, there's a lineup of groups that are working down there. And then, we're hoping to be back doing some other stuff in this area. And we've got some other things that are starting to shape up into the fall and into the winter time. That'll take us a little further afield as well. And so that's kind of in terms of live performances, we have that going on. However, some people that know the band will know that we released our debut record, Chapter 1, back in April of 2020, which was a really tough time to launch a record. Because I mean, we were a month and a half into lockdowns. And I think you and I may have talked before about that. We went out and I know you and I have connected, because of some of the virtual stuff that we've done, but we went out and actually hand delivered our records to people in town and played them a jig from the side of the road or from their driveway. And it went over really, really well. But that was 2 years ago. Yeah. And so we think it's time to get back to the studio. And so next weekend, June 11th, we're with the orchestra, and the weekend after that, we're actually going to be in a recording studio starting to lay down the initial tracks for our next record, Chapter 2. And so we hope to have that out this fall. So we got a couple of records that we're looking at doing over the next year, and so there's going to be a lot going on with the band. And we're really
Can we
excited.
find out more just by Googling Bookends to find out more?
Yeah, I mean, follow us on our social medias. I mean, it's Bookends Celtic, on Instagram and on Facebook. Obviously, our website, thebookends.ca. Always lots of info there. We always post all of our upcoming concert dates and stuff there. And so, I mean, there's it's an exciting time for us because things are coming back.
Well, you've got some good performers in your family. Can we give a shout out? Is it your son that's appearing this year on stage?
It is. We're so excited for him. And so, it's an unbelievable honor, but our son Bram is the young Richard Duke of York and Richard III at the Stratford Festival, which is opening tomorrow night. And it'll be the first opening ever at the brand new, $100 million Tom Patterson Theater. It's been in previews for the last month. People are loving it. I honestly, I couldn't be more proud, Eddie. It's all the stuff that we do with the band just takes a total backseat when it comes to what he's been able to accomplish. And I hope lots of people get out and see it.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations. This is so exciting for you and the family as well. And we'll be out June 11th over at Avondale. Folks, make sure you get your tickets in advance for this great show between the Stratford Symphony Orchestra and the Bookends. Pete, always good to see you, and I'll be talking to you soon, definitely, okay?
Excellent. Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, you too.
I'm Eddie Matthews from the Stratford and District Chamber of Commerce.